from the Caledon Rail Trail north of Toronto, Canada.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, what does your bike say about you? It's GCN's personality test, from Neanderthal using a blunt instrument to Mr. or Mrs. Boring. Which one are you, and what will it say about you?
We also have a new Everesting world record, a 2,899-mile ride to a high school reunion, and much more besides.
I tell you what, it strikes me that there's someone looking to recapture lost love for that high school reunion. I can't think of another reason to go to that length.
The whole way across the USA.
This week in the world of cycling, we learned that the women's Everesting world record has just been broken. Emma Pooley's time of 8 hours, 53 minutes and 56 seconds was smashed last week by young Brit Illy Gardner, who rode 72 reps of Bulky Gross, which is a fearsomely steep climb in mid-Wales, in just 8 hours, 33 minutes and 47 seconds.
Ooh. Finally, we also learned this week that Olympic gold medal winner Richard Carapaz has got an awesome new custom Pinarello to commemorate his achievement in Tokyo.
Strangely though, his custom Pinarello is bronze rather than gold. But that aside, it does look mighty fine.
One look at that bike site and you could see that the owner is a bit special. Less special than he really is, given that it looks like he's celebrating third place in the Olympics, not first. But still, it got us wondering though, what does your bike say about you?
Well, first up, let it be said, I have never had a gold or a bronze bike, Connor, nowhere close in fact. But should we start with the dirt bag? Okay, you see it quite often, you hear them quite often as well, the rider that never ever cleans their bike.
Coated with layer upon layer of filth until it ends up like a protective exoskeleton. Bar tape so grotty it's like a Petri dish, and bearings so dry they squeak and click every time the bike moves. But somewhere under that thick black grease there's a pristine silver chain waiting to get out. So if this situation sounds familiar, what does that say about you? Who rides a bike like this, Si?
Well, I think there are two options here actually, Connor. Firstly, the rider who just hasn't got time. Bike riding is a treat to be squeezed into a busy life. And when you come back through that front door after your 43 minutes and 56 seconds of freedom, there's simply no wriggle room. You can't head to the garden and spend even 5 minutes cleaning the crud off your pride and joy.
A noble bike rider. We salute you, but there's also the rider that simply doesn't notice. To them, a bike is a tool, an instrument. Doesn't matter when it goes blunt, it can then just be used as a hammer.
That's right. This rider is focused on the job at hand, and so is blissfully unaware of the fact that they've only got 4 working gears, 1 brake, and they are rattling like a cutlery drawer. The Neanderthal cyclist. If that's you, sort it out.
Yeah, Hank. Next up, we all have a friend who loves to ride a vintage retro bike, don't we? The one who rides around in a second-hand pair of cycling shorts, bought online for a small fortune, and leather shoes that would turn heads at a Halloween party.
Steel frame, vintage Campagnolo, needs a week notice to change gear or slow down. I know the type, Connor. But what can you glean from that?
It's not being able to let go of the past, isn't it? Nostalgia, harking back to the days of old, which I understand, especially for those who grew up and fell in love with the sport on those bikes. I myself am the same in other areas of my life. I just couldn't buy a Kindle for so long, Si. I like books, paper books, the smell of the page, the flick of the page as well, you know, just flicking through the book. But it felt like an assault on my senses to buy an e-reader, and then I accepted I simply couldn't carry 10 books in my bag to races around with me everywhere I went. And I am going to quote legendary British ex-pro Sid Barris here and say, why on earth would you want to ride an old bike when newer, lighter, modern-day equipment exists? It just works better. It works better. Why not have a better ride when you can?
Well, all right, Connor. Yeah, fair enough. I think, to be fair, it's probably a rider who wants to push back against consumerism and marketing and find like a purity in cycling. Either that, or it's a rider looking for an excuse, isn't it? Because you can go out on your group ride and ride in your lovely vintage Colnago, resplendent in your Campagnolo Nuevo record, an entire group set worth £4 on eBay currently, by the way. And if you get dropped, you've got the perfect excuse. Witness Exhibit A.
You're right, Si. You can just say, sorry, but bike's a bit heavy for these hills, or I couldn't reach down in time to change gear. I mean, it's perfect, isn't it? Getting dropped in style, though, at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. The opposite of this, Connor, is, of course, the tech nerd. No, don't put another picture of Ollie in. That's not fair. I mean, it's true, but still. Anyway, the tech nerd has everything, all the kit, all finely tuned to perfection, perhaps with added 3D printed bits, because, of course, tech nerd knows better.
Who is this rider? They clearly have a sizable disposable income, but it's more than that. They have a personality type which demands the best of everything.
Except this rider, Connor, I think is easily demoralised, because with the pursuit of perfection comes a certain vulnerability to the unexpected.
You optimise your tyre choice and pressure and your chain lube for the conditions, but it starts raining.
Or the group ride has gone on a hilly route today and you've brought your frickin' aero bike and are struggling to deal with the handicap of an extra 1.64 kilos. Or, heaven forbid, Connor, your power meter stops working mid-ride. That's it, game over.
Oh, heaven forbid. The fragile perfectionist throws their toys out of the pram because of a lost what?
A lost what? Now, lastly, there is another type of cyclist that likes buying stuff, but rather than performance-focused, it's actually more just about having stuff. Stuff, essentially, that will help you survive the apocalypse.
Yes, this is less about the bike and more about what's all over it, accessories. It starts with practical items, like lights, a bell, water bottles, saddlebag, pump, mudguards, and before long, looks like they've got stuck in a wormhole on Wiggle. Rear view mirror, check. Aero bars, top tube bag, GoPro bar bag, frame bag.
What is in those bags? I mean, honestly, literally, what is in those bags? I don't get it.
I think I can answer that, Si. I don't have a rear view mirror, but otherwise, that is me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So what is in those bags?
Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs. What bits and bobs do you need, mate? It's a bike ride. It's not a 2-week holiday in Lanzarote. You're out for 50 miles.
Well, I've got my house keys, phone, spare batteries.
For what?
Emergencies, and lunch.
It's all your lunch, isn't it? You're basically a one-man food truck on 2 wheels.
I just like carrying things in a convenient waterproof bag, Si. I spent years racing, carrying other people's bottles and food. Now I can carry it all in a fashionable handlebar bag and save my back. If you do the same, don't be ashamed. We're part of the same clan. I think we're practical people, who enjoy a substantial lunch.
Well, that is fine, mate. Or you could all take off that extra 4 kilos of weight and go out and set a load of Strava records. Remember how light your bike actually is.
Have you ever thought about what type of rider you are, Si?
Well, I have. To be honest with you, I think I defy categorisation, Connor. Like a bit of a jack of all trades, bit of everything.
No, Si, I think you've got your own category.
What?
Mr. Boring. No nonsense, Mr. Boring.
What?
That's what you are, Si. For example, you have an Orbea, which we're all extremely lucky to choose our own paint job for. And what did you choose? Plain black. Plain! Your bars also. Not too wide, not too narrow, black handlebar tape. I bet you have never ridden a bike with any other colour. Your bike has essentially fallen off the roof for neutral service. I bet you have 4 pairs of the same jeans at home, don't you? And what's more, I think you have a boiled egg for breakfast every day.
I do have a boiled egg for breakfast every day. And yes, I've got 5 pairs of those jeans actually, but I like them, so what's the point in getting anything different? I'm all for practicality, Connor. Middle of the road stuff that works. I don't want stupidly light tyres that puncture all the time. And an aero position is great, don't get me wrong. I also like being able to get around corners. And while I don't entirely disagree with your categorisation of me, some of that Orbea is very dark green.
Oh, well, that's all right then, Si. Mr. Flamboyant it is. Let us know what your bike says about you down in the comment section below, and make sure you let your mates know what they are too. Mr. Flamboyant here. Anyway, I'm going to go for a quick snack out of my handlebar bag, and then we'll move on to GCN Inspiration.
Well, before we get to GCN Inspiration, Connor, it is utterly inspiring. We want to let you know about what's coming up on GCN Plus this week. Jenny Graham, the women's round the world record holder, self-shot an incredible film of her round the world adventure, and we have got it on GCN Plus, which we are utterly delighted about. So much so, in fact, that we're going to give you a sneak peek right now. Check this out.
You have to cycle for 18,000 miles. Your whole journey must cover the same distance as the circumference of the world, so that is 24,900 miles. You have to be going in an easterly or westerly direction primarily, and you have to pass through 2 polarised points on the planet. So mine were in New Zealand and Spain. Yep, there you go. And then you cycle around the world.
It's like 9:30 in the morning, and I've been riding since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I should totally be in bed by now. Road I've been on, road I'm going on. I'm like, oh wow. I think I've got 300 kilometres left.
Well, how do you follow that for inspiration? Well, with GCN Inspiration, probably. That part of the show where we have picked out 3 of our favourite photographs or videos from the GCN app that you've been uploading over the past 7 days. Each one wins a prize, starting with 3rd place this week, who gets a GCN Keep Cup, which is pretty cool.
And the winner is Carl M. Norris, and I must say so, it's a 12-ounce Keep Cup too. So,
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Carl took this picture as he started heading down from Logan Pass on the Going to the Sun Road. Pretty spectacular scenery.
That is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Without even looking at that photo, I can tell you that the Going to the Sun Road is not here in the UK.
No.
Is it? Unless, of course, it's like the Channel Tunnel, like a road out of here. But yeah, that is stunning, absolutely stunning.
Yeah, thanks for sending that in.
Yeah, 2nd place this week. It's a video. Oh yes, a fairly rare occurrence here, but there we go. This one's sent in by Yichuan Lian. The Japan Nagano Norikura cycling short video. It's called, and they say, "I love Norikura. Great scenery, without cars, only a few local buses." I tell you what. That is an absolute perler of a road, isn't it? Look at that.
It looks unbelievable. Super remote as well, right up there in the mountain peaks too. I'd love to go there on my bike. So thanks for sending that one in. That is fantastic. On to 1st prize though, and the winner has got themselves quite a lot of swag here. GCN Core Red sweatshirt, a GCN in Espanol t-shirt, which...
Timely.
Timely, and I would love one of those. Red and white. GCN Elite Thermo Mia flask.
A GCN thermo flask?
Yeah, I haven't got one of these.
This must be new swag, Connor.
New swag.
How can you not have one of those?
I know.
It'd be brilliant. You could not just take lunch, but you could take soup on a bike ride.
That is a good idea. That is a good idea. I did have a teammate who used to take warm porridge out and ride.
Oh, good.
Swore by it.
God. Drinking porridge from a bidon.
Yeah, legit.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, we digress. The winner of all the prizes and the thermo flask, which you can carry porridge in if you want.
Sorry, there's a whole category out there to describe someone that takes warm porridge on bike rides in a bidon.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to think what that says about their personality. But anyway, right, come on, who's won?
Dr. Josh has won. So if you want to make yourself some porridge and take it out on your bike ride, then work away with your thermo bottle. Josh actually sent this photo in, which is a fantastic photo right by the sea there. And he said some 12 years after multiple brain injuries forced him out of his profession as a wildfire fighter, here I am magically regaining my stamina, a feat without explanation. Yesterday, I took my longest ride ever, 204 kilometres up the north shore of Lake Superior. Bringing my distance travelled for the year up to nearly 5,200 kilometres. So many years, barely able to climb stairs, and I still don't understand why it was a bike that gave it all back to me. But 2021 has been more transformative than imaginable. Now let's see if I can crush 8,000 kilometres before the snow comes.
That's so cool. That's absolutely incredible. What an amazing story. Thank you very much, Dr. Josh, for sharing that one with us. And a deserved winner of first prize. And please do let us know what you put in your new thermo bottle. And if it's porridge, then, well, just let me know what it's like. Right, if you would like to get involved in GCN Inspiration for next week, of course, as we said, we just pick out our favourite photos and videos from the GCN app each week. So just upload your photos and videos there. And of course, if you want to see more inspirational photos, there's stacks. So just have a flick and enjoy.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and no irony whatsoever here. A Scottish rock band is offering free tickets and other swag to anyone who can help recover the stolen bicycle that was taken from the band's guitarist for the group that calls itself Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves.
You serious?
Yeah.
They were kind of asking for that one, weren't they? But still, we hope someone manages to locate the lost steed. Have we got any information about what bike it is?
No.
Okay. That's a fairly useless public service announcement, isn't it, from our part?
A little bit.
Keep your eyes on the lookout for a bike
stolen
in Scotland.
From the Bicycle Thieves, you know, band.
Yeah.
Called that. Good luck.
Yeah, moving swiftly on, Connor. Right, what about this? We've all been mistaken for someone else at some point or other in life, haven't we? People always, for example, think that Connor is an NBA player or call the local zoo about an escaped giraffe. Connor wrote that, but I didn't write that. But when you've won 7 Grand Tours, you'd like to think that you've earned a little bit of respect.
Not for Chris Froome, however, Si. It happens to the best of us, although I do take the NBA jibes as a compliment. Froome was out on a training ride on his local roads in the Alps Maritime when he was stopped due to forest fires nearby. News reporters discussing events on the ground described him in their news reports as a local rambler on a bike, or randonneur de vélo. Ouch.
That is not what you want to hear as one of the world's top racers, is it? And certainly not one that's been struggling to regain his former fitness. But I'm sure it's just an awkward mix-up there. Froome was wearing plain kit, coincidentally, so riding undercover. Perhaps it was due to riding a bike with disc brakes.
Good spot, Si.
Yeah.
At least he was wearing something, though. The World Naked Bike Ride took place over the weekend in London. An event I genuinely wanted to make a video about, but we decided the world wasn't quite ready for that sight on video.
Yeah, we stopped it, don't worry everyone.
I don't know why, it's all for a good cause though, raising awareness around the negative impact of car culture, oil dependency, and celebrating body positivity, which is why I wanted to take part, you know.
You were, sorry?
I wanted to take part.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, mate, yeah. The ride concluded in London with a large group of riders on bikes, completely naked, a sight to behold, but a message that we can all definitely get behind here at GCN, I think. Although, Connor, I do agree that I don't think the world's quite ready for you naked astride El Alto. I think that's a different sort of video for a different sort of channel, quite frankly.
Moving on. Gravel racing continued over in the US at the weekend. Alex Howes won the men's SBTL gravel, beating Ian Boswell and Peter Stettiner to the line in the finale. Howes of EF Education Nippo had taken part in the Leadville 100 mountain bike event the day before too. Well, yeah, it was pretty crazy, Si. 144 miles long and over 9,000 feet of climbing with over 100 miles of gravel. The SBTL gravel event is one of the toughest on the calendar. Lauren de Crescenzo took home the women's race over US road champion Lauren Stevens and Flavia Oliveira.
Made all the more impressive, de Crescenzo's win, actually, by the fact that she's a former pro and now has a proper job. She works at as a research assistant, at the Centre for Disease Control, and she now races part-time, as well as doing what you'd imagine is an exceedingly important job, this current climate. And also, you've got to say, she won Unbound Gravel as well. She's having quite some season, isn't she? As well as being a former Everesting world record holder.
Si, have you ever made up an excuse to skip your school reunion meetup?
I have indeed, yes.
Well, San Clermont resident Paul Webb, he had no excuse whatsoever. He's keen as mustard. He rode 2,899 miles to his 50th high school reunion while raising roughly $30,000 US for charity, donating the money to CAF, or Challenge Athletes Foundation. And he rode from the Atlantic to the Pacific across the USA to get to his reunion.
Fair play, Paul.
Indeed, some commitment to get to your high school reunion. Now, Atletico Madrid have sent a warning to Tadej Pogačar, Primož Roglič and Matej Mohoric. Their goalkeeper is coming for them. Apparently, and judging by the size of him, he looks like he'd be a decent wheel to ride behind. And actually, perhaps just someone for you to ride with, Connor.
Yeah, probably a better goalkeeper than me, though. So I actually played in goal for my school team.
Did you?
Yeah, let the ball go through my legs in a county final from a long-range free kick. Never lived that moment down. Last bit of the news, though, moving swiftly on.
No, not moving. To be fair, mate, there's quite a big gap between your legs, isn't there, really? It's fairly
there
easy
is.
to...
I have a distinct memory watching the ball come towards me. It was coming, and then straight through the legs, and there was a big, oh no, from the crowd. Didn't live that one down.
No, fair enough, mate, yeah.
I went into cycling, didn't have much better luck with that either. Okay, moving on to our last bit of news, and I rate this so much. 24-year-old Swiss rider Gino Madder, who rides for Bahrain Victorious, is donating €1 for every rider he beats on each stage of the Vuelta a España to environmental charities as well. He's keeping a tally on his Twitter page as the race progresses. So €282 in the bank after stage 2 already.
That's cool, isn't it? Now, sticking with the Vuelta, just briefly, bit of tech news or potential tech news. We have spotted on the GCN Plus coverage a potential new Orbea hidden in plain sight with his very jazzy paint job. I wouldn't be seen dead riding that, Connor.
No, you've gone for the. If you were on that team at that moment, you'd have chosen the plain black bike.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
You could have had the snazzy, you know, all out there, colourful. You know, why not?
No, I want the plain black one, please. No, in all seriousness. There's not much information out there other than what we can see, but it does look freaking aero, doesn't it? And it looks slightly reminiscent of the Ordu TT bike. So, well, we'll keep you posted when we learn any more about it. But yeah, there we go. Right, and then finally, before we leave Cycling Shorts, we got some news about GCN Mallorca, which is, of course, our event that's coming up. Crikey, it's less than 6 weeks away now.
Yeah, it's getting close now. Yeah. And we're actually going to be partnering with Wahoo and Zwift. They're going to be official partners of GCN Mallorca, and we're going to work with them to create an incredible opening night featuring a crank it up style party with a live Zwift race format, live DJ, and some amazing prizes up for grabs too.
Well, that is cool, isn't it? So basically, guests will be able to race head-to-head against each other, and also GCN presenters too, over a short hill climb on Zwift, which kind of be like a warm-up for the KOM challenge that we'll be following on a few days later.
Yeah, and don't worry, Oliver Bridgewood will be there, so Lantern Rouge already established. But it does sound a lot more exciting than Dan's fitness test at the previous GCN Mallorca.
Well, I mean, Dan's fitness test was quite the spectator event. I just hope the performances will be slightly better than Dan's fitness test at the last GCN Mallorca. That's all I'm saying.
We'll also actually be joined by special guest and Zwift ambassador Leon Van Bon. He's a Tour de France stage winner and an Olympic medalist, and he'll be riding along with us on a few of the rides. Plus, we'll be checking out some of the latest Wahoo products, and Zwift will be there to guide you through their latest bits of tech too. So, sounds like a brilliant opportunity to take part.
You'll be able to have a dabble after your bike rides. Now, GCN Mallorca, there are some places left, I believe. So if you want to get involved, it's from the 30th of September to Monday, the 4th of October. And yeah, head over to the webpage to go. Well,
GCN events.
That's right. .co.
There'll be a link in the description below. Yep. Basically, we'll be on sunny roads, riding. You know, I'll go with Ollie in the Lantern Rouge. I'll give you some company, so you're not.
Yeah.
Just...
What more do you need to know? Sunny roads, beautiful scenery, and the world's smoothest tarmac known to humanity.
Can't wait.
It's like the biggest performance enhancer known to cycling, isn't it?
Yeah. As soon as you get off the plane,
5k an hour faster.
Off the runway, if you're lucky.
Not with your handlebar bag.
Right, now it's time for hack/bodge, where you lot all upload your photos to the GCN app, and we decide if it's a hack or a bodge, as do the GCN audience too on the app. Get voting now if you haven't already. This week, we have some interesting uploads. So first up, this has been sent in by Jimmy James, customising a Strider balance bike. I like the look of this. I like it a lot.
Yeah. He said it's a father's love gone mad. He thought it'd be a nice treat for his daughter to custom paint a second-hand Strider bike. After 3 days of continuous sweating in our basement car park, I was starting to see things differently. But the colour scheme, flamboyant, I think you'll agree, Connor.
Yeah.
It was chosen by his daughter, and he says the lettering was inspired by Ben Ine's new circus font. Boy, was that hard. So yeah, I tell you what though, that looks to me like a proper hack.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. So 3 days well spent.
Definite hack from me. I'd love to do something similar with my son. So
that's right.
There's inspiration. Nice one.
And when your daughter outgrows it in about 4 weeks' time, you can just keep hold of it as a reminder.
Yeah, that's cool as well, yeah. Hanging up on the wall, that'd be great.
That's right. Okay, next up, we've got this one sent in by...
See if you can pronounce this one, Si.
No. Y8 TI5YY7WB. I mean, that's original, even if it's
R2D2's best
slightly
friend.
mysterious. Yeah. Anyway, a quick tyre repair. So apparently, got a cut on his tyre, no puncture, which is good. But the tyre was new, a bit disappointed, so used shoe goo to patch it up from the outside, which looks like it might have done a reasonable job there.
Looks like it works. I think we need a video of it at a little bit of a higher pressure just to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, as long as the carcass underneath is okay, and the amount of tyres that I've fixed with patches on the inside, you know,
It's a hack. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think it's a hack.
There we go. Then I'll go hack. I'll go hack.
Yep, 74% of you said hack as well. So clearly, we're most of us are on the same page here.
Yep. On to the next one from Florian Bushel 91. This is, well, wait for it, Si. We've got some 3D printed action. Hack. Wait for it, though. 3D printed Wahoo mount.
Yeah, still a hack.
Well, I mean, it looks a little bit unaerodynamic, if I'm honest, Si. It kind of looks, yeah.
That is a good point, actually. Maybe we need to start getting a bit more discerning with our 3D printing, because if you're gonna print a mount for TT bars, aerodynamics should come top of the tree, shouldn't it?
It's got to
really?
be up there. I mean, yeah. This one. Basically, Florian's taken the time to design and 3D print a custom Wahoo mount for his tri bars. The original mount serves as an adapter, and the wide clamp makes the contraption extra stiff for pressing the buttons. I think the fact you've called it a contraption is a bit of a giveaway of a bodge, potential bodge on the cards.
Well, 85% of you lot said that was a hack. I'm going to go with hack, but please, can you do version 2 with some consideration given over to aerodynamics? I reckon there's half a watt there.
Be wincing.
Yeah, maybe even more than that. Not that I want to sound like a tech nerd there, but still half a watt. Right, this one is intriguing from Kamuro Ishigami. So Kamuro has been hacking a mountain bike to turn into like a bit of a sort of gravelly road type bike, which is very cool. But in order to keep the triple chainset on there, he's had to get a little bit creative with his cable routing, which I couldn't really work out why. But anyway, he's fashioned this incredible looking CNC machined like guide wheel, which looks very shiny, doesn't it?
It looks very pleasing.
It does.
It does. It just looks like the cable is, you know, it's on the right path in life, following that little route down.
I mean, there's a lot going on there, isn't there, really, if we're honest, in this sort of like...
There is a lot going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it performs a job, it carries that job out successfully.
And it's CNC machined, which is, you know, which is a bonus.
I'm going to go hack.
I think I'm going to get hack as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a hack because he's getting the bike to work and it's been executed in a nice fashion.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's a hack. That's a hack.
It is a hack.
85% agree too, Si. So, you know, we're on the right page.
Perhaps the bodge comes from the Gary Fisher bike in the first place, where someone designed crap cable routing.
Yeah.
So yeah, one over hacking what is effectively a bodged frame in the first place. Right then, Joseph K sent this one in. Hey, Lowrider. Wow. That's a bike for you, isn't it, Connor?
Yeah, that's like inbuilt suspension on that.
That's right, yeah. Wow. And really good for recruiting your glutes as well. That far back. Or for wheelies, possibly.
That's basically what happened to that tandem BMX that Hank and Ollie rode.
Yes.
Throughout the day, the seat post was just going...
That was a travesty. That was a thing of beauty, that BMX. Anyway, that's clearly a bodge.
Yeah, that's a definite bodge.
Yeah, 82% of you said that is a bodge as well. Right, last one, Connor.
This has been sent in by Ollie Smallwood.
Any relation to Ollie Bridgewood?
Whoa.
No.
I didn't see that, actually. You never know.
Small.
Alter ego.
No.
Someone practicing the hour record spotted in Bath at the Royal Crescent. Carbon rims would not like to attempt any of these on the Bath Hills in the UK on one of those. I'll tell you what, Si, I've seen these two out at the weekend before.
Really?
Yeah, every weekend they're out just cruising around the park.
No way.
Yeah, they look pretty skilled, actually. So maybe they are.
You've got to be skilled and also slightly bonkers to ride around one of those, because they're death traps, basically, aren't they? But yeah.
That's a hack, though, because fitting them in a car is another feat as well.
That is true, actually. Yeah, no, I think that's a hack, isn't it? I mean,
that's a hack. I'd go for hack.
It's very flamboyant, and I love that kind of thing, Connor, as you well know.
Yeah, Mr. Flamboyant here.
Yeah, there we go. Right, thank you very much for sending in your hacks and bodges. There were a few of you actually noticed that that Alex Payton's rocket bike that he built on DCN Tech was done so with the use of zip ties. I would just like to say that I did notice that there were zip ties in the use of that, and so Alex has been reprimanded and is going to be suitably punished for that indiscretion. So stay tuned. It's caption competition time now, that part of the show where I'm not prepared. You can get your hands on a GCN Elite water bottle. All you got to do is put a witty caption in the comments section that relates to a photo we're about to give you. But of course, results time first, where we had this photo of Alexander Kristoff. Connor, who is the winner of coveted bottle?
Winner of the bottle is Easton Brown, with this caption: Alexander Kristoff really looks the part on his home turf.
Genius.
Brilliant.
Love it.
You can never think of them. You can never think of them at the time. Brilliant.
Well,
love it.
That's the genius of the caption competition. That's why John Bishop has won so many times. Clearly, he's a funny bloke. Right, get in touch on Facebook and we will get that bottle out to you.
This week's caption contest, though, I think it's a good one. So
go on then, Connor. Put your money where your mouth is,
I'm going to attempt this one. I think Jasper Philipsen, Stage 2 winner of the Vuelta a España, searching for Dan Lloyd's form.
See what you did there, mate? I mean, presumably that's a bin.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I like it.
I think that's my best caption competition yet on the show. That's
yeah, mate, you keep practicing. Maybe John Bishop could give you some tips, or Easton Brown. But no, I like that one. If you think you can get anywhere close to Connor's amazing caption, then get involved in the comment section down below. We're going to pick out some of our favourite comments that you've been leaving under our videos from this past week, starting with the amazing video of El Alto, Connor's giant new bike.
It's a special steed. I do love El Alto.
Looks like it.
And it was so nice to see everyone in the comment section appreciating the bike as well, because El Alto is a unique one.
Oh yeah.
I loved some of these comments that came in. First one from Senor Victor. Good Lord, Hank on his tiny bike looks like a kid next to Connor on his El Alto. This one from Keflar Jeffrey. Next video, Connor installs a kiddie seat to take Hank on his next adventure.
That I want to see. Oh my God, yeah.
So and it goes on, Tom Blaine, and bizarrely, as Connor now looks in proportion to his bike, it's only serving to make Hank look like a child. And there's also a few of you that appreciated mine and Hank's singing, which I'm really glad to hear, and I'm looking forward to maybe releasing an album with a few other
Well, yeah,
tracks.
if you haven't heard it yet, well, here's a clip.
He was tall and fat and green-wheeled, riding through the high street. El Alto, El Alto, El Alto.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Fantastic. Right.
Well, Matt wrote in saying, who knew Hank and Connor had a future in songwriting and recording? So,
Well, I mean, if you do have a future in songwriting and recording, that will be a surprise. But any record labels want to get in touch, then Connor and Hank are, I guess, your free agents when it comes to recording albums.
Yeah, I can take my singing voice where it wants to go.
Brilliant. Anyway, in the time trial video, trying to break 20 minutes on a road bike, Mark Holder said 19 minutes and 62 seconds, no problem, sub 20. I like that kind of logic. Thanks, Mark. AD said, I find it suspicious that Si's first failure in a while is after taking advice from Ollie.
Suspicious indeed.
Yeah, maybe it was just that frame sticker called Turbulence, because it is an enormous frame sticker, like with his name on it. Like, you know how normally you get like little discrete frame stickers? It's like Bridgewood all the way down the top tube. Anyway, and then Jipper Wong said, 10 time trials later, Ollie, can I have my bike back? Si, now mate, one more week. I'm so close, which to be fair, it is kind of like, I think, the slippery slope that you end up on if you're doing time trials.
It is. It is addictive.
It is, yeah.
Fair play, Si. That was a cracking time.
Well, thanks, mate. Yeah, I was quite surprised about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was cracking. I love these comments that came in on how to ride a bike, which Manon presented last week. A really informative video as well, helping people get into cycling who maybe haven't been able to get into it in the first place. Just another Manon, pro cyclist, pro presenter, and pro teacher.
Yeah, there we go. As Kev Croft said, thank goodness Nice Manon turned up for this and not DS Manon, which yeah, I mean, that's enough to put anyone off cycling.
Manon is very competitive, as Scott Borreman pointed out. Manon is so nice and encouraging when there isn't a race involved. As soon as she sees a checkered flag, then that is it, you know. Everyone, you know, batten down the hatches. Best be paying attention.
Absolutely. Right then, what is coming up on the channel over the next 7 days? Wednesday, I think this is one of yours, isn't it? Tips for older riders, inspiration for veteran cyclists.
Yeah, so I was very lucky to go on a ride with the local club, and they were mostly over age 70. Yeah, so really inspiring ride actually. Just great characters, and it was really lovely. I did actually, yeah. Super strong. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that video.
Yeah, Thursday is the tech show, of course, over on GCN Tech. Friday, we've got some confidence boosting tips. And then Saturday is a big double header. It's the Tour de Station, which is Ollie's epic 242k Gran Fondo with 9,000 meters of climbing. So there's a tech video. There's also his main video here on GCN. And there's also how he trained for it as well, which is going to be super interesting. So that's over on GCN Training. Then Sunday, we did the hardest ride that Strava could suggest for us. And this is what happened. So make sure you tune in for that one to see precisely what does happen, basically. But there you go, 7 days of content coming up for you.
Right, that's it for the GCN show this week.
It is indeed. Thank you very much for watching, as always. And we'll see you next week, won't we, mate?
Yeah, we'll see you next week. I'm going to go off and see if I can find any more food in my handlebar bag. Peckish.